Oh, hey y'all, FatMan Outdoors. Hey, if you liked the video, click that like button and click subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. Appreciate you watching. This is the FatMan. I'm gone. Hey y'all, FatMan Outdoors. It's that good time now. Deer season's wound down. The only thing's left is just a few days of bow season left. Pretty much everybody's got meat in the freezer. Now comes the good part. Now comes jerky time. So now I'm going to show y'all what I do when I make my deer jerky, and let you know what my recipe is and how I do it. That don't mean it's the way you have to do it. Do it the way you feel good. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of recipes out there. As a matter of fact, most dehydrators, when you buy them, come with a little cookbook kind of a deal thing that gives you a bunch of different flavor recipes for venison jerky. Try it. See what you like best. Some people like some stuff, some people don't. This is what I like. This is what my family likes, so it's the way we're going to do. So what I'm going to start off with is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Alright. 2 tablespoons of Worcester, or as my daughter used to call it, Winchester sauce. Now 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons, 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. I prefer the mesquite. The oak is okay, but I like the mesquite. Okay, so now what I've got in my big bowl here is just my liquid part of my marinade that I'm making. You want to put all the liquid stuff in first, and I'll show you and explain that to you why in a minute. So now the next thing going in is 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper. Pour that right in there. And you're going to get 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now you can use white sugar, but brown sugar to me gives it a little bit of a deeper flavor, and I like it better with the brown sugar. Just one of my preferences. Okay, then the next thing is 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Now, I'm halfway through my dry ingredients, so now I'm going to take one of these little wire whoppers that my wife's got. Now, it's a whisk, and I'm going to mix it into my liquid here a little bit. Alrighty. Okay, now I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of ground pepper. You can use yellow pepper like you would put on a hot dog or a sandwich, but the ground peppers, I like it that way too. Now, this is 1 teaspoon of sea salt. You can use regular curing salt or just table salt. I like to use the sea salt because I like the flavor of sea salt. And now every time I add a couple of the dry ingredients, I'm going to whisk this stuff around a little bit. And that's going to get everything kind of emulsified. Alright, now the next thing that I'm going to put in there is 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. And here comes the heat. Okay, now be careful right here. You can overpower this stuff pretty easy. This is 1 half teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Okay, and now some people throw in red pepper flakes. Some people may even mix in some habanero seeds. if they want to get some flaming stuff coming out of it. But this amount of the cayenne pepper gets it pretty good heat. So I put that in there. Now I'm going to mix that, get it all kind of mixed in together. And it's getting real thick. Now we're going to thin this out just in a minute by adding our second run of liquid items that's going to go into it. So now what I got to do is get back over here, get my tablespoon out. I'm going to put 1, 2 tablespoons of the Worcester or Winchester sauce. 1, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now the reason why I do that is because I like to let that sugar stay a little bit drier than if you was just pouring all the liquids in there at one time, because to me it seems to make it work a little bit better as far as for your marinade. It gets thin enough to work and do what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't get so thin that it just floats around on and not get soaked into your meat. Now this is almost everything, and I'll show you what that looks like in there. Almost like fudge brownie mix, I guess. Got one more item to add. Now what this is 1/2 teaspoon of pink curing salt, or what a lot of folks call Prague powder. You need the number 1. There's different styles of this. Be very careful with this stuff. Too much of this stuff, and if you've got high blood pressure, you'll end up in the hospital. I mean, this stuff will really put the smack on you. Now it's pink for a reason, so that when it's in your kitchen you can tell what that is. Make sure you don't never try to use this as table salt, because you can. It's like super concentrated, and it'll put you in a bad spot if you use it. Don't take a lot of this to go a long way. But what that's for is it'll make sure that bacteria doesn't grow in your meat after you've cured it, and it will last much longer with that in it. It really helps to make your jerky last a long time. Alright, now we got this all mixed up, and I'm going to use one of them $40 words. It's all emulsified. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put one glove on. And you need these gloves to get your hands in this stuff so that you don't smell like your jerky for the next 6 months. I'm going to get me a pound roll of this ground deer jerky meat up here. Cut it open. Boy, ain't that pretty. Nice and red. And we're going to squeeze it out. Oh yeah. Oh boy, that's going to be some good stuff. Now we're going to get the next one. We're going to cut it open. Same thing, we're going to squeeze it right down in there. Gotta make sure you get all that goodness out of there. That's the good stuff, man, that's in there. Don't want to leave nothing. Want to bleed her on down in there. Oh, that's some good looking meat right there. Now this was all ground when I had the deer processed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my other glove on. I'm going to ask my lovely assistant to come over and help me pull my glove on. It's kind of hard to put these on if one of them's slick. Grab right hold of that there, lovely assistant. Thank you. Thank you, Gabby.
Love y'all.
Now what I'm going to do is, just like kneading bread, I'm just going to roll this around in there and knead it all around. Just like that. Let it get kneaded up in there. When we come back, I'll be ready to squirt it out on the trays of the dehydrator and get to the good part of cooking it. See y'all in a little bit. Alright y'all, here we go. We're ready for the last stage. Show you in the bowl what this looks like. You can see how the meat's darkened up from all the ingredients that we put in. This smells so good already. When I took it out of the fridge this morning, and what I normally do is, after overnight, I'll put gloves back on and just re-knead the whole thing for about 10 minutes again, then put it back in the fridge. And now it's been about 7 or 8 more hours. With the ground meat, you don't need to let it marinate as long, because you're literally mixing it all through all the meat. If it's cut strip meat, then you need to put it in there and let it set in the marinade for at least 24 hours. But it's been about 18 hours, roughly around that. So we're good with this ground meat. So now what I want to do is I want to show you how load this gun and put the pieces on the trays, and then I'll get them all loaded and show you what I do after I get them all loaded up. But let's get this thing loaded up and I'll show you how it makes the strips. So what I do is I take a piece of meat and kind of form it in my hand a little bit to where it'll just slide right down in there. Till you get it filled all the way up. Once you've got that pretty full, alright, got it pretty full. As you can see, it's right out to the end, and I'm going to screw the other part of the jerky gun onto it. And then, like I said, this thing works just like a caulking gun. You just squeeze the handle. Just take your time, let it do its thing, and it'll squeeze those out. Now you just have to figure out how long the sticks that you want to make are going to be. Just put even pressure against it. And it's supposed to make that popping sound. That's when you get to the end of each stroke you've got. And then what I'll do is I'll arrange them. If you see a spot that it come out a little bit thicker than you want, it's real easy. You can just kind of mash it down and lengthen it out and thin down that piece if it got too thick. But they'll come out in a they're roughly about the diameter, a ½ inch diameter, about like a dime size. And as you can see, this thing is pretty efficient about putting it out there. But that's all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and finish all these out, and then once I get them all full and made up with as much as they'll hold, I'll show you how we'll put them on there and explain to you about my rotation of the trays. But we'll be right back. Alright y'all, I've got 4 trays loaded up. What I made out, that little over 2 pounds of pure ground lean deer meat. Nothing added to it except the ingredients that we put in earlier for our marinade. It's filled up 4 of these trays, and you can see they're all pretty much the same. That's 1, 2, 3, and there's the 4th one. So they're all pretty good and full. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my lid here. Now this lid's got adjustments on it where you can turn it and either just the little grate holes will be open, or if I turn it this way, these big round holes will be open. The big round holes allow the most amount of air to go through, and that'll dry your stuff faster. You can turn it this way and let it dry slower. I don't know, maybe in different types of dehydrating that you would do, or different stuff you'd do, there'd be a need to do that. But when you're making jerky, when you're dehydrating meat, you want the process to go as fast as possible for 2 reasons. Number one, you do that so it gives bacteria less time to grow and it gets that moisture out of there as fast as possible. But number 2 reason is, I mean, you get to eat it faster. That's one I like. But anyway, we're going to set it to where the big holes, there's 4 big round holes here that are open, so we're going to get max airflow. And we'll set that up right there. Okay. And then I'm going to reach, sorry, I'm going to reach over you here. But I'm going to reach right over here. And I'm going to plug up the dehydrator. Now we're going to let this run for 2 hours. And then I'm going to show you what I do to change the stacks, to rotate the stacks. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then in 2 hours when I change them, I'm going to take this bottom one, put it on top. So it'll be 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'll do it again in the last 2 hours. We're going to let this run for 6 hours. But we'll be back after the 2 hours is up, and I'll show you what I do to rotate them, and we'll be back in a bit. Okay, it's been 2 hours, so now I'm going to rotate the trays for the first time. So I'll just take the lid off. We got 4 trays on there. So now I'm going to put the top one on the bottom and just count them back down. Put the lid right back on. That's all there is to it. For the next 2 hours, let it sit there and do its thing. These Ronco dehydrators, I like them. They have no fan, so there's no noise. You just plug them up and they do their thing. They work completely off convection, so you don't have a fan going all the time. They just run, do their thing every couple of hours. You go out and change them. They recommend for the jerky for 6 hours. I'm probably going to go about 7 on these, so I'll get one more rotation. The next time I rotate them will be at 4 hours. Alright, let's open her up here and check, see how it's doing. It's getting close. It's getting real close. I'm going to rotate the trays again. So now I'm going to put the middle 2 on the bottom. Ooh, it smells so good. Be done pretty soon. Alright, y'all, I believe we've got her done. Take the lid off here, take a look at it. Oh yeah. Oh man. Ooh yeah. That's good. That's good. Gigi, you want a little nibble? This is my little friend Gigi. You can't see her, but I'm going to give her a nibble. Oh wow, that's so good. Just a little bit of spice. You can taste that brown sugar. That's good. That's good. Well guys, I'm going to let this cool off, and then I'm going to get it out for the dehydrator and get it bagged up. Get it out to my friendly viewer who purchased a dehydrator for us. This has been good. This has been a good video making it. I enjoyed making it. Hope y'all enjoyed watching it. And I'm going to enjoy some more of this jerky. I'll see y'all in the next video. Hey, y'all. Appreciate you watching this video. Hope to see you in the next one. This is FatMan. I'm gone.